Have you ever made a mistake so big it felt like your entire career, maybe even your life, was collapsing in real time? Natalie Winters had, and it all began at a glittering company gala where one conversation changed everything. At first glance, Natalie wasn't the kind of person anyone would notice, not because she lacked charm or beauty. Her chestnut hair and hazel eyes could easily catch attention, but because she'd mastered the art of invisibility. In the buzzing offices of Green Horizons, one of Seattle's fastest-growing health food corporations, Natalie was polite, meticulous, and quietly brilliant, but almost invisible. She hid in the shadows of meetings, spoke only when directly, addressed, and escaped before the dreaded small talk could begin. Her reports were flawless, her analyses precise, but she always delivered them with her gaze locked on the paper instead of the people. Her supervisor often said the same thing. "Natalie, your ideas deserve the spotlight. You can't build a career hiding in the shadows." But Natalie hated the spotlight. Attention meant vulnerability. Vulnerability meant criticism. And criticism burned. So she built walls, polite, professional, but distant. 4 years of this. Strategy had given her modest raises and good reviews, but not a single promotion. Her apartment mirrored that same life, tasteful, functional, yet strangely impersonal. The only space that carried her heart was a small balcony garden where herbs and flowers thrived under her careful hands. Plants, unlike people, didn't judge. They grew simply because she nurtured them. Then came the cream-colored envelope, the company's annual gala, and this time, stamped across the top in bold green letters, mandatory. Natalie's stomach sank. 3 hours of forced smiles, networking, and awkward conversations. But she had no choice. The next 10 days blurred in anxious preparation, practicing greetings in the mirror, rehearsing small talk about sustainability initiatives, even agonizing over a dress. She finally chose an emerald green gown, fitting, modest, safe. The kind of dress meant to blend in, not stand out. That October evening, under unusually clear Seattle skies, the Grand Ellison Hotel glowed like a golden palace. Inside, chandeliers shimmered, violins played, and the air buzzed with champagne-fueled chatter. Natalie, clutching a glass for courage, scanned the crowded ballroom for safety. No familiar faces, no easy escape. Then she spotted it, a nearly empty table by the windows. One man sat there, silver at the temples, sharp yet kind eyes fixed on the skyline. A stranger. Perfect. "Excuse me?" she murmured. "Is this seat taken?" The man rose slightly, smiling warmly. "Not at all. Please, join me." Relief washed over her. He wasn't like the others. No fake smiles, no empty chatter. His jokes about sneaking out of galas. Through the kitchen made her laugh more freely than she had in months. Champagne loosened her tongue, and soon she was confessing truths she never dared say aloud at work. How Green Horizons relied on manufactured authenticity. How their campaigns used polished lies when the truth, their real ethical sourcing, was good enough. How she sometimes wondered if her work made any difference at all. For a moment, she panicked. She'd said too much, criticized the company, to a stranger. Career suicide. But instead of judging her, he leaned closer, intrigued. "You know," he said softly, "it's rare to hear such honesty in this industry. Don't apologize for it." The conversation flowed, genuine and effortless, until the spotlight hit the stage. "Ladies and gentlemen," the host's voice boomed, "please welcome the visionary behind Green Horizons' growth, our founder and CEO, Elliot Harrington." Natalie's blood froze. Elliot Harrington, the man sitting across from her. The man she'd just spent 20 minutes criticizing. Her world tilted. Applause thundered as Elliot, her Elliot, rose with a small, apologetic smile. Duty calls. And just like that, the floor vanished beneath her. Music swells. The next morning was cruel. Her alarm went off as if mocking the fact she still had a job. Maybe Elliot had already forgotten her face, she thought. But then, an email notification, a meeting request, with him. By 10:30, Natalie was walking toward the executive floor, each step heavier than the last. She braced herself for humiliation, or termination. Instead, Elliot greeted her warmly. "Natalie, your honesty was refreshing. That's why I asked you here. I want you to lead a new project, an initiative to realign our marketing with truth, with authenticity. I call it Authentic Horizons." Natalie blinked. Lead? Her? She was an analyst, not a leader. Surely others were more experienced. Experience in perpetuating the problem isn't what we need, Elliot replied. We need fresh perspective. That's you. It was the first time in years someone had truly seen her. But success attracts enemies. And for Natalie, that enemy was Malene Carter, the ambitious marketing director who had long set her sights on climbing higher. Suddenly, Natalie's meetings were mysteriously double-booked. Emails vanished. Rumors spread that she'd manipulated her way into Elliot's favor. Colleagues whispered in elevators, questioning her integrity. Still, the initiative thrived. Authentic campaigns featuring real farmers and genuine customer stories outperformed every glossy ad before it. Finally, presentation day arrived, the chance to prove everything. Natalie stood before the board, her voice steady, her ideas clear. But then, Malene rose, feigning regret. "Before we proceed," she declared, "I must reveal something." With a tap of her tablet, Natalie's own voice filled the room. "I recognized the CEO immediately. I knew if I played innocent, he'd notice me. And it worked perfectly." Gasps. Silence. Every eye turned to Natalie. She froze, horror crashing down. Malene had doctored her words, twisted fragments into betrayal. Elliot's expression hardened. "Miss Winters, my office, now!" The walk to his office was a death march. But once inside, Elliot's words stunned her. "I know you didn't say those things. Your honesty at the gala, the months of sabotage, that isn't the work of a manipulator. The audio was edited. And we can prove it. Security recordings revealed the truth. Every original conversation, every fragment Malene had spliced. The board listened in shock as the lie unraveled. And with it, Malene's career. When Natalie returned to the podium, she no longer hid. She spoke clearly. What happened yesterday wasn't just about one person's ambition. It revealed something deeper. How often we reward appearance over substance, loud voices over meaningful contributions. The Authentic Horizons initiative isn't just about marketing. It's about who we are as a company, and it begins with how we treat each other. Her words struck a chord. The board approved her campaign with overwhelming support. Colleagues congratulated her, some with pride, others with awe. And for the first time in her life, Natalie didn't feel invisible. She felt seen. Months later, the Authentically Us campaign launched to industry acclaim. Sales surged. Consumer trust soared. And Green Horizons began transforming its culture from the inside out. But Natalie's biggest change wasn't professional. It was personal. One evening, sitting across from Elliot at a quiet restaurant by the bay, he asked gently, "Do you still feel invisible, Natalie?" She smiled, the city lights reflecting in her hazel eyes. "No, because I finally stopped hiding." Music softens, hopeful. And maybe that's the lesson. Sometimes the greatest risk isn't losing your job or facing criticism. Sometimes the greatest risk is letting yourself be seen. If this story inspired you, don't forget to like this video, subscribe, and share it with someone who might need the reminder. Authenticity is always worth the risk. Because in a world of noise, sometimes it's the quietest voices that carry the most important messages.